I'm sorry that I'm fat. I don't like when people, like, they feel, sometimes you're like, I'm fat, and they're like, It's under my control, you know? It's not like weather where I'm like, oh, these fat pellets are raining down on me. Like, it just happens, you know? But sometimes when I'm eating and I feel feelings, I'll be like, nope. I'll just bury those under this. This is true. Every time I go out to eat with somebody, at least one person will be like, hey man, why are you sweating? Like, what's up with that? You know we're not racing. I'm like, we're not? I thought we were racing. No. The biggest boost to my day, I think, is when I eat myself out of breath. I don't know if you've ever done that before. It's fun when you're eating and you go, and then you have a chance to think about it. You're like, why did I just stop to take a deep breath? Oh yeah, my body also needs air. You fat fucking turd.
I'll tell you on a grand scale who's helping nobody lose weight. It's Starbucks. And this is true. They have a national training campaign to try to trick you into ordering food. And this is why. They know you're going to order a beverage. So they try to lead you into food. Pull into any Starbucks drive-thru, and now they greet you. They say, welcome to Starbucks. What can we get started for you to eat today? And you're like, wait, what? I just wanted coffee. And they're like, no shit. What else do you want? So then you're like, I don't know, sausage? Like, what do you have? I don't respect that. I like my shame straight up and honest. And nobody does that better than the West Coast burger chain In-N-Out. And if you've never been in In-N-Out, get your fucking life together and go. And I want you to go simply so you can experience the most shameful and honest question in all of fast food. Because you pull up and you go, I'll have a double, fries and a Coke. And they go, will you be eating in the car? Yeah, I think so. And they go, I bet you will, you fat fucking pile of garbage. Doesn't that question sting? You're like, am I living in my car? Why am I eating in my car? Because if you say no, they give you a bag and they're like, leave with dignity. But if you say yes, it's an open tray and they go, eat out of that, pig. And then it falls in your lap and they go, pick it up. And you're like, how about, and they go, are you gonna jerk off when you get home because you're lonely? And you're like, yeah. We're gonna give you a free milkshake because you're bumming everybody out. We're fast food workers. You're making us sad. Get the fuck out of here.
My doctor comes in. He doesn't say hello. He doesn't say good morning. He just walks in. He points at me, which is super aggressive, you know, to start a conversation with somebody like, hey, man. You're like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, what? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, I don't get it. And he goes, has nobody told you that your hair's falling out? And I was like, damn. No. And he goes, oh, sorry. All right. Then he pulls my chart out of the slot, super dramatic, so that it makes a fucking noise. He goes, I'm like, and he goes, wow. And I'm like, really? Wow. Is it full-blown AIDS? Like, why is it wow? And he goes, you weigh 245. And I go like, yeah, like I knew that shit. And he goes, you weighed 230 last time you were here. Not exactly what I would call weight loss. And I'm like, are we at a fucking roast or something? Right? Like, what are you doing? Then he says, you know, you're the fattest patient I've seen all day. And I go, it's 9:30 in the morning. And he goes, still. He's like, you know, we ran your blood work. It turns out your muscle enzymes are through the roof. And I go, yeah, man, like, I'm super strong. Like, how is that a problem? And he goes, they're off the charts. I'm like, even better. I'm probably your strongest patient, man. And he goes, I don't think you understand muscle enzymes. And I go, that's true. I don't know what they are. And he goes, well, the only way you could have them this high would be like, A, if you were an Olympic athlete, which clearly, I'm like, dude, what is the deal, man? And he goes, the other way would be if you were a cocaine addict. And I go, I don't do coke. And he goes, I'm your doctor. You don't have to lie to me. And I go, I'm not lying. And he goes, I can't treat you if you're not going to be honest. And I go, hey, man, aren't cokeheads skinny? Isn't that like part of the deal? And he goes, usually, yeah. The nurse comes in. She takes my chart out of his hands, and she goes, oh, my God. His muscle enzymes are so high. Maybe he runs marathons. And my doctor goes, look at him. So at this point, I go, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me today. You ever meet somebody and they're so boring, you feel like they poisoned you? Like, you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now. And I think you did it. This guy's name is Craig. I met him. I made sure to get it. I was like, I'm going to remember you for the rest of my life, man. I met him at the bank. Is he a bank teller? No. Is he a security guard? Nope. What's his job? I don't know. Whatever they call that guy that stands in the lobby of banks now, where you walk in and you're like, do you work here? And he's like, I think so. That guy? The lobby liaison? Well, I saw him. We made eye contact. I don't know how you work. For me, if we make eye contact during the day, not at night, but during the day, out of human decency, I acknowledge you. So that's what I did. We made eye contact, and I go, how you doing? And he went, and I was like, okay. So then I get to the second set of doors to walk in, and as I reach for that door, I hear, you going to the bank? I go, is this still a bank? He goes, yeah. I go, I'd like to. And he goes, go for it. And I was like, okay, thanks. And then I reach back, and he goes, I'm going to Virginia next week. Are you telling me that? He goes, you said, how you doing when you got here. I had to think about it. That's what I'm doing. I go, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard anybody say. And also not how that question works, but all right. And now I reach back, and he goes, yeah, my sister lives there. And I'm like, how long she live there? Now I'm roped in. He goes, 15 years. And I go, you've never been? And he goes, Now I'm starting to look at him like, hey, man, do you drive to work or does somebody drop you off? You know what I mean? I think he could. Yeah. I think he could see it in my face because out of nowhere he goes, I drive. And I was like, that's cool, man. That's cool. I drive too. That's crazy. I got to get in here. He goes, yeah, we're going to check out D.C. and we're going to see some monuments. I go, I would love to hear about it, but I have to make a deposit. He goes, well, I'll be here when you walk out. I go, you motherfucker. Fuck that guy, and fuck everybody like him. If you have the audacity to tell people how you're doing when they say, how you doing, that shit is rude and selfish, all right? I'm serious. There are two acceptable answers to how you doing. Fine and great. And if you're miserable, you say fine. You don't burden people with your real world problems during a courteous exchange. Yeah. I moved recently. Because of you nice folks, I could buy a nice house, and I'm very thankful for that. And yeah. Thank you. I bought a house in a neighborhood, though, that I think is too nice, you know? Like, it kind of reminds me of a store. You ever walk into a store and, like, right away you're like, I should leave, like, when you get there? I feel like whenever they offer you something to drink in a store, that's a sign, you know? Some stores you walk into and they're like, would you like still or sparkling water? And you're like, I left something in the car. I'll be right back. Well, I mean, all my neighbors, they're like investment bankers and partners in legal firms, and then I'm there. Like, do you eat ass, or what do you do, man, you know? And they're like, thanks for buying a house. It's great to have you. Here's what's wild. A current or former United States Senator, I shall not say whom, lives in my neighborhood. Everybody talks about him. I know which house is his. I'd never met him. Now I'm home from tour, and I decide to start my day with a morning walk, a casual walk. You know, I have some coffee. Let's get the day started. I go for a walk. I walk past his house. He comes outside. I don't say anything, right? But he yells out. He goes, hey, are you the comedian? I go, yeah. He goes, where do you think the term motherfucker comes from? Hello, it's nice to meet you. I go, I don't know. He goes, you think it's from people doing that? I'm like, fucking their moms? And he goes, yeah. I go, I don't know. He goes, how many people do you think do that? I go, more than you want it to be. And he's like, meow. Then, and I am not making this up, I could not make this up, he says to me, how about daughter fuckers? I go, first of all, that's not an expression that anybody uses. Right? No one's like, check out this crazy daughter fucker over here. I go, if you have kinks, we can talk about them, but not like this. I don't like this at all. And he goes, meow. And he just turns around and walks into his house. I'm like, what the fuck was that? So I keep walking, just contemplating every mistake I've ever made that led me to that conversation. And now I'm walking home. So I walk past his house again. He comes back outside. He goes, hey, I didn't want it to end like that. That was weird. It was. He goes, I thought about it, and a motherfucker is not somebody who fucks their own mom. I go, oh, do tell. He goes, a motherfucker is someone who fucks your mom. He goes, that's the most disrespectful thing anyone can do, so if somebody is particularly rude, you call them a motherfucker. And I go, wow. I am so impressed that you put that together so quickly. I can see why you may or may not be Ted Cruz. And then I walk away. Oops.
I saw a racial fight recently, which is terrible, but I watched it. How are you not gonna watch? You're gonna watch every fight, you know? Fights have that weird quality. Fights are kind of like hand jobs, and that, like, you don't really want one, but you're like, well, let's see where it goes, you know? Like, will you give it a kiss? No? All right, so yeah. Had to take a shot. So, I'm in Philadelphia, walking through the park in the middle of the day. Beautiful day in Philly, beautiful park. I'm walking through this park, and as I'm walking through it, I see a white guy, and he yells across the park to a black guy. He calls him a nerd. And when you hear that and you're in public, you're like, oh my God. I'm gonna die. That's your first thought. And then another black guy, I don't know if he lived in the bushes, but he popped out of the bushes. Like, If this is a bush right here, I just saw a black guy go, no. Not in my park, But it's like, no one else saw that guy. Only I was like, oh my God, I see that guy! Like that. And it became my own personal movie. I watched him line up like the honey badger. He was like, that one? All right. And he sprinted across the park and he tackled the white guy. So instinctively, I just went, get him! But it took me a second to realize I'm the only other white guy in the park. Yeah, so like 10 black people turned and I went, no! Him. Our him. And they were like, what? And I was like, I'm out. That's what. And then they killed that white guy. And for the record, I don't give a fuck if they did. You know why? There is no such thing as white guy loyalty, okay? I mean, there is, but those guys are obvious as they hold torches. But the rest of us... are not having that shit. And let me tell you something, man. I'm jealous of interracial loyalty, because I see it. You know, if you're white, you see it with other races. Asians, you see it with black people for sure. What I'm talking about, there could be a dangerous situation. Let's say it's a fight, and there's a black guy in that fight. And then another black guy that doesn't know him will go, I'm going to involve myself. Just on account of us being of the same race. At our core, we are brothers. I see that, and I'm like, wow. Because when you're white and you're in that situation, you're like, fuck that guy. I don't know that guy. Do whatever you want to him. I don't give a shit. Let you do something like that guy in the park and then look at me like, hey man, are you gonna help out? You should know something. You're about to get murdered, okay? I will fucking take pictures as you're beaten and upload them, hashtag honky, hashtag dead honky, fuck you cracker, I'm out of here. Now,
Guys, have you ever thought about how many times you may have slept with your significant other? You should know the answer, so let me just start there, all right? If you do, that's terrifying, and we'd like you to leave. Yeah, if you're sitting here, you're like, oh, finally, somebody has... It's 926. There's the exits. What I'm saying as a concept, it is reasonable to assume if you've been with somebody 3 years, you have a healthy thing going on, you may have slept together a few hundred times, right? Right. Now, I want you to think about how many times your dad has finished inside of your mom. So many times. Tom, why would you say that? Well, basically, I think all of our moms are a bunch of cum dumpsters, you know, but your mom more than my mom. Now, I know, it's a tough image to get out of your head once I've planted it, right? You're like, God damn it, my mom's dripping? Probably, yeah. Soaking wet. Look, your mom has done some nasty shit. Let's talk about it. She really has. And look, I'm here to defend her, all right? It is not her fault. It's your dad's fault, for sure. Your dad, with all due respect, is kind of a piece of shit. A little bit. And if you're like, not my dad, he's good. Yeah, to you. He's not always like that to your mom. If they've been together 3 decades, you don't think he says some off-colored shit every now and then? Of course he does. They're laying in bed, your dad's tossing and turning, he can't sleep. And your poor mother, is everything all right, dear? It's fine. Was supper good? Yeah, shut up, I'm trying to sleep. can I do anything to help? Yeah, you can lick my balls, all right? And you want to know something? Your poor mother, she does it, all right? Because she's a ball hog, so your mom gets down there. And she goes, I like my life. Oh, your mom. Now, your grandma. Think about some of the things that she's done. On the railroad tracks or wherever she used to fuck around. El Paso, I don't know. You're like, why are you saying this stuff, Tom? Because I'm having fun. Because I enjoy upsetting people. Yeah, I don't know what it says about me psychologically, but there's like a marching band inside of me right now going, good job, good job. Yeah, because internally I picture somebody out there going like, I was having fun until he talked about my slut mom. And it makes me happy, I don't know. I'm not calling you stupid if you're religious, okay? That's a cheap shot. If religion gives you comfort, I think that's great. I would not call you stupid for that. I would only call you stupid if you read your horoscope. And you make life decisions based on what the planets are doing. I don't know if you've ever spent time with one of these non-contributors, but they're usually sharing their wisdom, like, you gotta go for it, because you're a Pisces. Thanks, Doc. Those are the same people that think it's a miracle to share a birthday with someone. Like, that's a noteworthy event. And then you get to explain how that's not weird. Well, there's a lot of us. And not that many options. It's gonna happen all the time. Those people, ugh. But the ones who make me immediately homicidal are people who get excited about a close to each other birthday, as if that is worth wasting a breath on. I get this in hotels once a month. I check into a hotel, guy will take my ID and he'll be like, you're April 16th, I'm April 3rd. I go, hold on a second. You mean to tell me 2 weeks before I was born, you were born? Yeah, I've got panty pudding now. Every week, it's another city for me. I get asked the same questions every week by people. Are people the same everywhere? No. Some places suck and they have shittier people. I just gave you a sociology degree. How about that? You like that? Here's one universal truth about people, though. This one is true, and that is that everybody just wants to connect. It doesn't matter where you go or what language you speak. People just want to connect. And you know when you have chemistry with somebody. You know if you're like, I want to hang out with this person, or I want to date this person, or I want to harness this person to the bottom of my big rig and drive them around for a while and bury them 18 miles west of Lake Worth, and when I drive by, I'll get a boner. We all have these thoughts, right? Sometimes there's nothing there, and people try to force a connection. I think that's just rude. I'm checking in a hotel a few weeks ago. The guy comes from behind the counter. He goes, where are you from? I said, Los Angeles. And he goes, yeah, I got family in Denver. And I was like, what a coincidence. And he goes, yeah, they got a furniture store. And I was like, I like to sit on furniture. We're 2 for 2. I have shoes on. Do you have shoes on? Do you like to walk around? Let's fucking party. There's nothing there. Sometimes there's nothing there, and that's okay. You're not supposed to connect with everybody on the planet. That would be absurd. You should embrace that. I've been doing this, you should do this too. Next time you're at a bar, or you're just out, walking around, and somebody goes, hey man, just go, nope. I'm all friended up. And if they're like, I just want to know what time it is, be like, I only tell my friends what time it is. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I went to the doctor, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to get a checkup, see what's going on. The honest truth is, I knew it wasn't going to be awesome, okay? I knew the doctor wasn't going to be like, you might be surprised to hear this, but you're perfect. Like, you're a perfect physical specimen, man. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I didn't expect him to be a dick. Usually they're not. I feel like in my experience, doctors are polite. Almost overly polite, where it's phony and condescending. When they go, oh, really interesting story you got there. Doctors do that because you're telling them a story, and doctors don't want to hear a story. Doctors want to hear, this hurts. Not, I was over at my friend Charlie's house, and we went to move the ottoman, and, I mean, you can use it as a coffee table, or you could use it as an ottoman, it's up to you. And your doctor's like, I want to blow my fucking brains out right now. I go in there, I sit on the exam table, which is my least favorite table to sit on in the world. It's the only table that in 30 years I've sat on where my feet don't touch the ground. So I feel like a fucking toddler waiting like... My doctor comes in, he doesn't say hello, he doesn't say good morning. He just walks in, he points at me, which is super aggressive, you know? To start a conversation with somebody like, hey man, you're like, hey, what's up, man? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, what? And he goes, do you want something for your hair? And I go, I don't get it. And he goes, has nobody told you that your hair's falling out? And I was like, damn. No. And he goes, oh. Sorry. All right. Then he pulls my chart out of the slot, super dramatic, so that it makes a fucking noise. He goes, I'm like, and he goes, wow. And I'm like, really? Wow. Is it full-blown AIDS? Like, why is it wow? And he goes, you weigh 245. And I go like, yeah, like I knew that shit. And he goes, you weighed 230 last time you were here. Not exactly what I would call weight loss. And I'm like, are we at a fucking roast or something? Right? Like, what are you doing? Then he says, you know, you're the fattest patient I've seen all day. And I go, it's 9:30 in the morning. And he goes, still. He's like, you know, we ran your blood work. It turns out your muscle enzymes are through the roof. And I go, yeah, man, like, I'm super strong. Like, how is that a problem? And he goes, they're off the charts. I'm like, even better. I'm probably your strongest patient, man. And he goes, I don't think you understand muscle enzymes. And I go, that's true. I don't know what they are. And he goes, well, the only way you could have them this high would be like, A, if you were an Olympic athlete, which clearly, you know, I'm like, dude, what is the deal, man? And he goes, the other way would be if you were a cocaine addict. And I go, I don't do coke. And he goes, I'm your doctor. You don't have to lie to me. And I go, I'm not lying. And he goes, I can't treat you if you're not going to be honest. And I go, hey man, aren't cokeheads skinny? Isn't that like part of the deal? And he goes, usually, yeah. The nurse comes in, she takes my chart out of his hands and she goes, oh my God, his muscle enzymes are so high. Maybe he runs marathons. And my doctor goes, look at him. So at this point I go, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me today. I'm gonna leave now. And he goes, all right. And he goes, hold on a second. Do you have a ring on your finger? And I go, yeah. And he goes, you're married. And I go, yeah. And he goes, to a guy? And I go, no. And he goes, oh, I thought you were gay. And I go, why? And he goes, oh. I'm like, all right, dude. And he goes, hey, I'm just kidding. And I go, that's fine. He goes, but check it out. And he takes my chart and he shows it to me, and he had written gay ? On my medical chart. The thing that gets sent to other doctors has his inside, maybe he sucks cock joke written on it. I went home, I told my wife, she's like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, I mean, are you ever gonna go back there? I'm like, are you out of your mind? That's the funniest fucking doctor in the world. Of course I'm going back there. I have like Don Rickles as my primary care physician. It's amazing. I'm faking injuries to go back to this guy. You know you're a piece of shit. I'm like, I know. Bikes! I get like verbal tics, you know? I don't have Tourette's. I wish I did. It looks fun. But I'll just yell shit out. It's like a hook on a catchy song, except it's just stuff that I watch. And then, bikes! I just yell it, you know? Over and over. Only like 2 or 3 million times. But I'm obsessed with the show Scared Straight. If you've never seen it, it's tremendous. Here's what they do. In the show, they take kids, middle school and high school kids that are getting in trouble a lot, and they send them to jail for a day. And the idea is that jail will scare the fuck out of the kid, and then he'll get his life together, hence Scared Straight. It's tremendous. I'm obsessed with one episode. It aired once in 1999. Here's what's great. It aired uncensored, which is bananas. And in this episode, they did not send the kids to jail like they normally do. Instead, they sent them to a maximum security penitentiary. Prison. And those prisoners verbally assaulted these kids into crying a lot. And it's the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life. First of all, don't feel like too bad for these kids are super badass. They're not like spitting spitballs in class and they're fucking stabbing other kids. They're badass kids, okay? And they show up to this thing with attitude. Like they walk in, they're like, what's up? This ain't shit. I run 6th grade. I ain't scared of you, man. Like, can't scare me. And they're greeted by a guy named Crazy Chris. Chris has scars on his face, and the screen freezes, and it says, Chris killed 6 people, and he's doing a double life sentence. Like, this dude is so bad that when he dies and he's reincarnated, that guy's doing life in prison also. So, this is a bad motherfucker right here. The kids are like squatting around, and Chris is like, hey, my name's Crazy Chris. And from now on, you will see me in your nightmares. And the kids are like, what the fuck? Like, I'm 12, don't talk to me like that, man, that's crazy. And then he goes, if I ever see you again, I'll take a bite out of each of you. And they're like, all right, we're all reformed now, thank you very much. So, Jesus, but they can't leave. The next guy comes up to him and he goes, hold my pocket. Hold my pocket. And he makes kids walk around holding the inside of his pocket, you understand? So he walks and then they're like, I don't know what you know about prison, but if you're holding on to another dude's pocket, it's gonna be a rough day, all right? Not only is this guy making kids hold his, he's talking ridiculous shit to middle schoolers. He's like, I'm gonna make you suck my dick for breakfast. Every morning. The kid's like, I hate breakfast. Funny shit like that. So, he's like, I'm gonna mush your motherfucking face. And the kid's like, so it's so fucking funny. There's one exchange where this dude, he pulls a kid out of line. The kid's like 13. He weighs, 100 pounds. And he has a bowl cut, okay? He has a bowl cut in prison. It's parted in the middle. And the prisoner goes, "Why are you here?" And the kid's like, "Ugh. Stealing?" And he goes, "The fuck you took!" And the kid goes, "Bikes?" And he goes, "Bikes!" And that's why I yell bikes all the time. You should see me when we drive by a bike store. Holy shit. I'll be like, ah. And my wife, she's pretty over it. She'll go like, "You get one." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna make this shit count." So I'll pull over, I roll down the window, and I wait until I see somebody checking out one of the sidewalk displays, like all the bikes out there. And when they find one they really like, and they're like, "Oh, I like this one," I'll go, "Bikes!" And they're like, "What the fuck?" And I'll go, "Stop selling drugs!" And I drive up. Great. I wish my dad was still here, you know? He died a few months ago, and I understand it's part of life, you know, it happens to everybody. And, you know, I'd never visited somebody sick in the hospital. That was a new experience for me. And it's strange, if you've never done it, you get to the hospital, and then somebody that works there goes, "Are you here to see?" And you go, "Yeah." And they go, "Yeah, they're gonna die soon." And you're like, "I thought so too, that's why I came." And then they go, "You can go in there and watch that now." And you're like, "Thanks." Personally, I feel like watching somebody die that you're not trying to kill is weird, you know? Like, it's different if you have somebody, you know, and you're like, and they go, "I'm dying." You're like, "I know, I want you dead. That's why I'm doing this." That probably feels good. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a euphoric feeling that you chase forever and ever. But ask Garth Brooks. He'll tell you all about it. So. Come on. Where are the bodies, G? Please. Connect the dots. Now, I will tell you this. I did have a great conversation with my father, and I hope if you're ever in that situation, you get it too. We had this great talk, and then he just drops this on me. He goes, "You know what I've never told you?" And I was like, "No. What?" And I was really hoping he was gonna say, you know, "There's a treasure buried in the backyard. It's for you." I go, "What have you never told me?" And he goes, "I like a full bush on a lady." And I was like, "What? What?" He goes, "Your mother keeps trimming hers." I go, "Hey, what the fuck, man?" I go, "Why are you telling me this?" And he goes, "Who am I supposed to tell?" I go, "The Lord, you're about to meet him." And that was it. And then he said the N-word, and then he died. It was really sad.
And I get why you laugh at my physical flaws. Physical flaws are funny. They just are. Disabilities are not. But some are. Most aren't. We know those ones, you know? Like if there's a 10K or a quilt, it's pretty bad. But the rest are up for debate. And if you're sitting here and you're like, well, when is it ever funny? Well, luckily for you, I have 3 examples. First, foreign accent syndrome. Some of you know about it, some of you don't. It's real. You can look it up on your way out of here. Some people experience head trauma. Not funny. But they wake up speaking their native language with a foreign accent. Very funny. I defy you to watch interviews with these people and not piss yourself laughing. Do you understand? Like a farmer in Alabama who's normally like, that guy hits his head and is now like, the tractor trailer, it fell a la mer. That's not funny to you, you piece of shit? Really? The best case ever of foreign accent syndrome happened in the UK. Well, not only was it a British woman who lived her entire life in the UK, she'd never left the town she was born in for 33 years. She was in an accident, and she woke up speaking English, but with a Chinese foreign accent. Did you hear what I just fucking said? Do you now believe in God and his awesome sense of humor? A British lady who her whole life was like, hello, it's a bit of a whiffle, isn't it? Like that. Now says, I have not had my conversation for over 3 years now. First of all, do you know how hard it is to do that impression without squinting? Secondly, if you're getting uncomfortable, like, whoa, he's mocking an Asian accent? No, she's white. This is fine. A white British lady just happens to say, would you like a cup of tea? Tastes good? You want milk? You want biscuit? Oh, good. You want me to suck the dick now? I don't know, whatever. She's a nice British lady. She can say whatever she wants. Now, if you're sitting in your seat right now and you're like, I don't think it's funny. Well, don't get your tits in a tussle. I got 2 more for you. So, what about persistent genital arousal disorder? That is a fancy way of saying never not coming. These are people that have orgasms every 90 seconds, and they can't have jobs. Why can't they have jobs, Tom? Because they're coming all the time. It's not appropriate for you to be like, can I try on this shirt? And the guy's like, ugh. Fuck your shirt. I'm gonna wear my old shit. I'm not wearing your fucking shirt. Can you imagine? You're like, oh, we're out of orange juice? Or, oh. Just bring water. That's too much sugar. I don't want any more of that. Some people suffer from both of those afflictions. You know that? It's rare, but it happens. Can you imagine that? That like you just walk up to someone, you're like, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your dad passing away. And he's like, that feels good. I made that one up. That's not true. But that was cheap, but that was fun. Now, if you're still not on board with this, how about an old, reliable one? You know, how about Tourette syndrome? Yeah, maybe you've heard of that. If you haven't, let me tell you. When I was in 5th grade, my parents sent me to a new school on a Wednesday. I'll never forget. It was a Catholic school, and on Wednesdays, they had Mass. So picture you're a new student at a new school, you don't know anybody, and the first thing you're doing is you're going to church. So I walk in, and the priest starts the service. He goes, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the kid in the row in front of me goes, fuck your cunt. And I'm like, oh, Nobody did anything, no one batted an eye. He just goes, Holy Spirit, starts reading from the Bible. This kid goes, lick my balls. Fuck you. I am laughing so goddamn hard. But I know I'm not supposed to laugh. It sounds like I'm having a stroke. I'm 10. I'm like, I have tears running down my face. And finally I'm able to get out, how come nobody else is laughing? And the kid next to me goes, he's got Tourette's. It gets old. 3 years I was at that school. That shit never got old. That was the greatest gift God ever bestowed upon me. And I'll tell you this, the greatest day of my life, up until the day my son was born, was the day we had a substitute teacher that year, and they didn't warn her about him. Your imagination is serving you correctly. It was glorious. I watched a 10-year-old boy break a grown woman's spirit. These poor substitutes, they don't know what's going on in your class, you know? She walked in, somehow they didn't tell her, and she's like, read chapter 3. And then his tics would build, meaning they would start small. So he would sit in class and be like, so she goes, what's going on? And we're like, she doesn't know. And then he would do this every day. He would take markers and paint his own shirt. Again, every day he did it, but she doesn't know about it. So she sees it. She's like, what are you doing? He goes, what do you think, bitch? Ah! Then he starts painting his face with the marker. And she goes, stop that. And he goes, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. And she's like, what's happening? What's happening? And we go, that's Kevin. Why are you crying so much right now? Like that. When she killed herself, she's dead. So... she's out of teaching, but she's fine. So,
I think the gayest I ever was in February. That's when I did my shows in Los Angeles, and Brad Pitt came to my show. Look, I do not know what year he was born or how many infants he consumes in a week, but that man is stunning, all right? He came into my dressing room. I couldn't make eye contact. Do you understand? Like, I was like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? He goes, look at me. I was like, no. He goes, come on. I said, shut up. He goes, you want to give me a kiss? I was like, yeah. And he goes, do it. I'm like, I got it. What? It wasn't gay. We took a bath later. That was gay, but we talked about sports, so it balanced out, you know?
That porn has gotten way too aggressive these days. Way too aggressive. You know where it's at? 80s porn. Yeah. Go to your dad's drawer. Pull out a VHS. Watch an 80s porn. That's when porn was fun and exciting and consensual. When they had... 80s porn had fun little plot lines like, I've lost all my pants! What am I gonna do with this cock? And then some girl will be like, you can keep it in here for a week. And these days, it's all choking and spit my mouth, spit my ass. Everyone's spitting on everybody. And the titty slapping. Right? Not cool. Not sexy. No. Do you like having your titties slapped? No. You like it like that. Or even like if it's from behind, like a... But not like... Stop slapping titties. That's where mama's milk comes from, alright? That's what the show's all about. That's what I want you to leave with today. My message for 08. To change America. Stop slapping titties. Thank you guys very much.
A few years ago, I was in Washington, D.C., and I was sharing a cab with a woman I didn't know. Never met her before in my life. We're splitting the cab. Midway through the ride, as I'm looking out my window, I hear the woman go, hey. And I thought she was gonna be like, hey, like you wanna fuck or something? And I was gonna be like, I can't, I'm married, so make it quick, all right? I look over, I'm like, what is it? And she goes, is this yours? And she's holding a wallet. And I go, no, it's not mine. And she goes, oh, it must be the previous rider's wallet. I'll just give it to the driver. And I go, don't do that. Look at him. He looks like a cab driver. He probably smokes crack every once in a while. You can't trust these guys. I go, give it to me. I'll get it back to the rightful owner. And she goes, really? I go, yeah. She gives me the wallet. Now I feel obligated to find the owner. But here's the honest to God truth. I really want to. I've always dreamed about finding a wallet. I don't know why. I dreamed I would find a wallet, I would open it, it would have $1,000 in it, I would get it back to the rightful owner, and it would turn out to be like Will Smith, and then he'd be like, do you want a helicopter? And I'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, I got a family in Denver, do you like furniture? So I open this wallet, it has $2, a grocery store rewards card, and a community college ID. So I have found not Will Smith's wallet. But I still try to do the right thing. I call the grocery store, I explain the situation, and I go, can you help me out? And they go, no. We're a grocery store. We don't track people down. Eggs are on sale. Go fuck yourself. And I was like, cool, thank you for your help. Then I call the community college, and I speak to literally every department in the community college for 4.5 hours. Before I finally get a contact number, I call the number, and a man answers the phone who I can only imagine has never used a phone before. Because he actually answers the phone with a noise. So just to break this shit down, I don't know if you've ever used a phone before, but usually when you call someone, and they pick it up, they say, hello? That's fucking it. That's what people say when they answer the phone. Maybe if they're in a bad mood, what? Those are the two options. This man answers the phone, picks it up, and he goes, And I go, hello? And he goes, And I go, I'm gonna talk, and then you talk. And he goes, yeah. Like it was the first time someone explained to him how fucking phone calls work. Up until that point, he's just like, that made a noise, I'm gonna make a noise too. So I go, hey, I found this wallet, I was given your number, I'm trying to return the wallet. And he says, it's probably my son's wallet. He's always losing shit because he's a piece of shit. That's the first thing, I don't even know how to respond. I'm like, I go, well, can I give him his shit back? He goes, he's a real asshole. And I go, we're talking about your son right now? And he goes, yeah, I don't think he's gonna amount to anything. And I go, Jesus Christ. I go, maybe he will amount to something if he gets his wallet back. And he goes, yeah, I'll let him know you called. And then he hangs up the phone without taking my information. So his plan is to go to his son and be like, some guy found your wallet. Yeah, I don't fucking know. And he's like, walk away. So I'm super frustrated. I try to do the right thing, right? I forget about the wallet. A year goes by. A calendar year. I go back to DC. I go in town, I call a friend. We go to a restaurant, just a random restaurant. We sit down, and the waiter comes up to take our order, and I go, Justin? And he goes, how do you know my name? And I go, dude, I have your wallet. And he goes, oh, do you have it on you? I go, no, I don't fucking walk around with your wallet. I don't go, I got my wallet and I got Justin's wallet. Now I'm ready to go out. No, you fucking psycho. And he goes, do you want to hear about today's specials? And I go, do you want to acknowledge that this is an amazing moment in both of our lives? And he goes, what do you mean? What do I mean? I found your wallet in a cab in DC a year ago. I don't know how many cabs are here, but I think it's a lot. I got told no 100 times by 100 people trying to find you. My hotel room used to look like an episode of NCIS. There was pins and charts connecting shit to each other. I spoke to your father, who's not a fan. I don't know if you knew that or not. I come to a restaurant at random. I get seated in your section, and I recognize you from your ID that's burned into my memory. You don't think that's fucking amazing? And he goes, we have a prime rib special, and we also have a penne pasta. I can't eat. I'm like, what the fuck? He comes by, I go, look, I don't want to make a big thing here, but I do remember that I have your wallet in my bag in my hotel room. If you want to come by, I will give you your wallet. And he goes, okay. I go back to the hotel, I hear a knock at the door, and now I'm expecting him to lose his shit. I think the situation merits freaking the fuck out. I think he was playing it cool, and now he's gonna be like, I didn't want to say this earlier, we should open a surf shop in Maui together. You know, or like, this is my newborn son, I want you to have him, like that shit. So I hear a knock at the door, I open the door, I'm like, hey, and he goes, hey, you got my wallet? And I go, yeah. And I give it to him, and he goes, cool. And he turns around, and he walks away. No. It's not cool. So I open the door, and I see him about to get on the elevator. I go, hey, Justin! And he goes, yeah. And I go, your dad's right. You're a fucking asshole, and you're never gonna amount to anything. And I shut the fucking door.
I probably checked into 400 hotels this year, and when I tell you that this has happened to me more than half a dozen times, I am not exaggerating. Every hotel check-in begins usually the same. It's standard. Hotels, the people at the desk, they go, last name? And this just happened to me. Last name? And I go, Segura. And the guy goes, whoa, are you Japanese? And I go, 100%, yeah. And he just goes, oh, we don't get a lot of Japanese people here. That's pretty cool. So I have to stop him and go, hey man, I'm not Japanese. And he goes, Segura. Segura! Sounds Japanese. I go, that's because you're saying it Japanese. I could be Smith, and if you want to go Smith, it's Japanese. He goes, well, what are you? Which is fucking rude. Can I just say it's never important to ask that question? What are you? It's never important to ask that. It's sometimes important, but not a lot. When is it important? Sushi chef, accountant, 100-meter dash. Outside of that, sometimes it matters. So I tell him, I go, Segura is Spanish. And he goes, that's weird. You look white. And I go, I am white. And he goes, but you're Spanish? And I go, correct. He goes, do you speak Spanish? I said, yes. He goes, so you're Mexican? And I go, no. And he goes, I don't know what's going on. I said, what's going on is you failed fucking social studies. And you're not too good at geography either. And then I see his head drop, like he feels bad. I'm like, look, man, you understand there's white people in Mexico. You know that part. And he goes, no, I don't. I said, there's white people there, there's black people there, there's even Asian people there. And if you really want to shit your pants, those Asian people, they speak Spanish too. You don't expect it, but they're like, dim sum, muy rico, si lo quiero probar, si no lo quiero probar, concha tu madre, nadie te quiere, anda la mierda. They are Asian, and they speak Spanish.
My friend, I can hear her audibly say, I can't believe I'm thinking that. And I go, thinking what? And she goes, oh, nothing. And I go, what is it? She goes, it's embarrassing. And I go, well, just tell me. She goes, if I tell you, you'll make fun of me. And I go, I always make fun of you. Just say it. And she goes, no, it's just something, I want to keep inside. I go, but you said you want to do it, so just say it, and then you can make it happen. She goes, I don't want to. I go, listen, if you don't put it out in the universe, it'll never happen. You got to say it. What is it? And she goes, okay, I want to blow somebody in the Wu-Tang Clan. Now, I immediately think, what would my mom say, And I tell myself, don't be like mom. This is this girl's dream. So I look her dead in her eyes, and I go, you should try. There's a bunch of them. That's what I said. Now, 3 months later, she got on their tour bus, and she told them, and guess what? They all accepted. If you are not familiar, there are 9 guys in the Wu-Tang Clan. 9. So many guys. That's so many. Can we park for a moment at how many dicks 9 is? I don't even understand how anyone's sitting in their seat right now. There's people out here like, what else you got? Are you shitting me? That's not a lot. Close your eyes and picture 9 dicks. You're like, oh my God, they're everywhere. Yeah, because there's 9 of them. That's why. I'm not slut shaming. I'm saying objectively, 9 is a lot of anything. Like if I was like, I had cinnamon rolls today, and you're like, how many did you have? I had 9. You want me to take you to the emergency room, or you're gonna lose a foot by the morning, we should go. 9 dicks? Are you fucking shitting me? Some of you, it took you 15 years to get to 9 dicks. This was a Thursday for this young lady. Try to imagine the physical labor involved with blowing 9 probably not small dicks. If you're not aware, the Wu-Tang fellas don't look like me, all right? That is some CrossFit shit at that level. If you think burpees are rough, try. Am I doing good? Do you like me now? Like, after how many do you think she was like, let's take a little break for a second? What the fuck am I doing? Why are they so mean about it? How many is that? 4? Fuck. Am I done? And they're like, no, you're not done. You got RZA, Ray, Ghost, Matt. No, you're not done. And she's like, but my neck hurts. And they're like, you gotta protect your neck. Don't you listen to our music? Yes. That is a top shelf Wu-Tang blowjob joke. Now, she was a real animal, you know. I asked her one time, I was like, if you could go back to that day and do anything differently, what would you have done? And she said, I'd have skipped lunch. So